fighters are waiting for you, though. If you want them truly ready for this main event, then Plymouth, Massachusetts! Let them hear you! Let's go! Fighters are waiting for you, though. If you want them truly ready for this main event, then Plymouth, Massachusetts! Let them hear you! Let's go! Fighters are waiting for you, though. If you want them truly ready for this main event, then Plymouth, Massachusetts! Let them hear you! Let's go!
What's going on? I don't know what's going on my screen. Let's go here. Boom. I don't know where Andy is. He's upstairs 15 minutes ago. I said, come on down. We're getting ready to go live. He's still not down here. I'm done waiting. You're done waiting. It's fight week. Fight week. Big show this weekend. Cage Titans 70. Thanks to Nick for putting on the greatest show, our new trailer for this weekend, Fight Week edition. Shout out to Antoine Caparata, who's actually fighting on this card, who gave us the recommendation for that song. He said he was actually going to walk out to it, but thought it would make a better trailer. So we took him up on that. He's got another cool walkout song that he had in the back burner. So he gave us that for Fight Week. So it is Fight Week. And that's it, man. What's going on, David Justin? I don't know what the hell Andy's doing, but I'm already on air because I'm done waiting for him.
Yeah, no, I had boiled dinner that I was eating for St. Patty's Day upstairs. Wow. I didn't want to bring it down here. It was so good. Oh, shit.
So, so it is Fight Week. What's going on, Sean? What's going on, all the boys? We got a stacked fight card. The entire fight card. We got some Fight Week shakeups you saw earlier today. John Medina will be stepping in for Will Smith, taking on Phil Lucino. Unfortunately, we wish Will all the best. He's got some things that he's got to take care of before he makes his return to the cage. So we're excited for Will to return whenever that may be, and maybe we'll get this fight set up down the line. But John Medina will be taking on Phil Lucino. We'll go over all the fights, but that's one. We have another one that is updated, but I can't tell you all the details. Once we announce the fight, you'll understand. Sometimes, let's just say some fighters like a little pomp and circumstance around their fight announcements. And this guy is all about it. So we will be making an announcement. Actually, I got to record a video after I get off air and send it to him. And then he's going to clip it with something he's doing regarding this fight announcement. So
interesting.
That will come out. I know I'm giving you the announcement before the announcement. I hate when people do that, but it'll be worth the wait for sure. I'll give you this part of it. Son, I'll give you this part of it. Jake Hixenbaugh's opponent, Dion Rubio. Unfortunately, Dion Rubio has been working around an injury, and as of last week, it just doesn't look like it's going to heal in time. So we're hoping to fight, get Hixenbaugh versus Rubio, maybe down the line, maybe for May. But Hixenbaugh said to me, I still want to stay on the card, and put out the challenge to me, see if I can find somebody. And I did find somebody, but we cannot announce it as of yet because this fighter, one of his agreements to take in the fight was that we'll let him announce it in his own special way. So be on the lookout for that. Yeah. So be on the lookout for that. Thanks, Andy, for coming down 15 minutes later. These poor people had to watch that video 15 times.
8 minutes, okay? It was boiled dinner, St. Patty's Day. Forgive me.
Yes.
All right? It was so good.
I was just like, come downstairs. We got to go.
I totally missed you say come downstairs. I saw you walk in. I thought you were going to come back out. And I was just eating.
Like, let's go.
And as you texted me, I stuffed my face with the last couple bites of potato and then the last bit of corned beef and came right down. You heard me yelling.
Cabbage, man.
So good. So good. I had a mountain of that plate. And you walked in. And I missed the memo. And then I got the text and
you got the long drink?
Chewed on the way down. Yeah, now we're good. Now we're ready to rock.
You could have drank like a Guinness or something tonight.
Nah, I can't get that festive. No.
Jameson. Maybe a shot of Jameson.
Maybe I'll have a Jameson ginger before I take off out of here. But we'll see. Well, right now the long drink. It's fight week. We're gonna break down every single fight. We got a long show ahead of us. A bunch of debuting amateurs. So some of these are gonna be pretty quick because we don't know what we're gonna get, and it's pretty much the same message. And that's kind of how this card unfolded. A lot of amateur debuts are gonna be taking place right here, and then the professional card is just outright stacked. So stoked to be calling the action as always. We've got Andrew Valdina and Hillary Rose in the commentary booth with me. So it's going to be action packed and always a great time. Fight night it can't come soon enough.
Fight night is almost here. I'm wearing the throwback. I know you guys can't really see.
Yeah, the Celtic version. I'm
the throwback to the date. What is that? The St. Patty's Day.
Doubleheader. Yeah, we had a doubleheader back then. Holy shit.
2 years ago on St. Patty's Day weekend. So we got we need him at Cage Titans Fight Night. Alyssa Tortora, what are you sleeping on us? What has she got? Crying. Oh, party. She's ready to party. Sorry. I thought it was when it comes up on screen, I got to squint. It's right. It's tough to see. Oh, he wants to get long drinks. I mean, the Finnish long drink at
I'm in.
Cage Titans. I mean, listen, man, that's my jam. I like.
I'm in.
those. They taste just like a Fresca.
Yeah, no, I see. I don't
They
drink.
have the cranberry.
I don't
version,
drink
too.
soda, but this reminds me of Sprite. Only it's not Sprite. It's
I
so
think it's
good.
Fresca. If people know Fresca, they would probably understand a
No,
Fresca.
no, that's Fanta. I was
Fresca.
not Fresca. It's water Fanta, not water Fresca.
No. I mean, I feel like left out that I'm not even drinking on St. Patty's Day, but it's okay. I got
You'll
the
be all
St.
right.
Patty's Day
You're fine.
shirt
You're wearing
on.
more green than I am. I think my underwear is green, but
Yeah.
we're gonna leave that.
That's the stripe in the back end. anyways, but as I said, fight week, just to kind of get over fight week activities this week, we got the weigh-ins at Plymouth Memorial Hall on Friday. It is open to the public. So we encourage fans to come on down, cheer on these guys. We do the official weigh-ins with the fighters and the commission. And then at 1:00, we do the ceremonial on stage. So we always encourage people to come and have some fun.
Can I bring my dog to weigh-ins?
I don't know. You can do what you like.
Maybe.
I am not an animal person. I know that sounds
I know you're
horrible,
not. No, it's not horrible.
I'm
I
like,
totally
why the
understand.
fuck would people want to bring their dog places? I have a dog. My wife and kids have a dog. I actually have a dog too, but it's like
We've chased Roxy around the neighborhood when she got
yeah.
out before. You have a dog.
yeah.
You have a dog.
Why would I even want to torture myself by bringing my dog somewhere? Anyways, but yeah, Friday weigh-ins, ceremonial weigh-ins at 1:00. We encourage people that want to come down from the public. We do give away tickets to a lucky fan that comes to the ceremonial weigh-ins. So that's a ticket giveaway opportunity. Then on Saturday, we have the pregame bash at Second Wind Brewing. It's 2 blocks up for Plymouth Memorial Hall. They've been working with us since Cage Titans 50. So we've had 20 iterations of the Second Wind Fight Night IPA.
Wow.
Wow.
in a blink of an eye.
Excited for you guys and to kind of go by, see their brewery. And they're actually opening a new location. So over the summer, they're going to have a huge brand new location. They've been working on this new location for 5 years. It's still on the same road as Plymouth Memorial Hall. So they just got the sprinklers installed. They just painted the outside of the building. That's not going to be quite ready for this weekend, but it will hopefully be ready for March. I'm sorry, May. And then as always, Hall Pass doors open at 4:00. General admission doors open at 5:00. 6:00 first fight. And then as always, the after party at Tavern on the Wharf, which is always a good time. A couple housekeeping things about the event. If you haven't been to a Cage Titans event before, remember there are full security at the front doors. No weapons of any, no pocket knives, things like that. There are metal detectors there. Also, they do pat downs. No cigarettes, vapes, candy, gum. No, basically come with your wallet in your pocket and your cell phone. Don't become with anything else. They're pretty strict at this venue. It's a memorial hall. And it's a historic building. So, people are like, why can't I bring gum? It's like, well, people stick gum to the back of the chairs and things of that nature. So, bring your wallet, bring your phone, and, don't be bringing anything else. No vapes, no cigarettes. The venue is non-smoking. That is a change for 2025. So it didn't get out to a lot of people for our January show. So, it is a smoke-free venue, just like,
no smoking area.
No smoking area, nothing.
No,
so
there used to be. Oh, wow.
So that's just another little quick update. So that's all I got for housekeeping. And so ceremonial weigh-ins on Friday, pregame bash, doors open at 4 for Hall Pass. If you're unfamiliar with the Hall Pass, that gets you in an hour early before general admission doors open. Get you free reign of the building to pick your favorite seat. We limit to 100 people, so it's not a mad firestorm of everybody. The first 100 people that buy a Hall Pass, you get into the building first, and you get to pick your seats. So that's that. You went over the commentary team. As always, Spectation Sports. If you don't have a ticket and you can't make it in person, Spectation Sports got you covered. They will have all the action from start to finish, live streaming on their site. Don't fall for the scam sites. CageTitans.com or SpectationSports.com gets you the stream. New update from Spectation Sports. Their app was in beta last year. It is out of beta, so it actually is fully functioning now. So before you had to go to their website and kind of, open the window or cast it and things of that nature. Now they actually have an app you can download. So that's something new and exciting. BetMGM will have the odds, so be on the lookout for the odds this weekend. BetMGM will be the place for the action. Rob Pico, no, it's not that type of hall pass. I mean, you can do whatever you want if you're a single guy. You do whatever you want, but not that type of hall pass like the movie. Yeah. So did I miss anything? I don't think I missed anything. New policies at the hall, expectation sports. I think I got it all. You got anything, Andy?
That's going to be an interesting new policy.
What? You go to any venue, it's not smoking. So, any venue
right.
you go to TD Garden, no smoking. They don't have smoking sections. In today's day and age, listen, I've never smoked in my entire life, so I don't know what it's like for you smokers out there. It is what it is. It's not in my hands. It is.
You'll survive.
You'll survive for some
we'll survive.
fisticuffs. It is. They're just. You can't even smoke in restaurants, nightclubs. Like it's just. We were holding on to that. Like,
shame.
Hey, like make a little smoking area off the side, and they were holding off on it, and they kind of kept letting us get away with doing it longer and longer. And finally, this year, they were just like, all right, we've kind of every time we did a show, it was like, all right, after this show, we'll stop it. And finally, they were just kind of like, hey, listen, it's been going on for a while. We've said we wanted this building to be non-smoking. You're the only event in this building that has smoking. We kind of have to put the kibosh on it. So there you go. I delayed it as long as I can for you smokers out there.
From a non-smoker, you
From
got
a non-smoker,
to give you the effort.
I tried for you, because I said to him, I go, these
He's a
people here
community.
for 5 hours. I go, geez.
He's a man of principle, but a community man.
Yeah, I mean, I am a community guy, but I mean, because I said to him, I go, TD Garden, our hockey game's what, 2.5 hours, 3 hours? I'm like, Celtics game is, 2 hours, 3 hours. I'm like, we're asking people to sit there not smoking. They get here
with the high intensity event.
High intensity drinking crowd.
Yeah.
And we'll laugh. I've had somebody here, and I actually use that in my defense.
Because that's the thing is like you got a few beers pumping in you, you've been pre-gaming. It's like even if you don't smoke, one taste. Seems like a tasty idea.
I said to them, and I've used this. I said, here at Coops, I've had a person light up a cigarette drunk in Coops.
I've seen it.
Just been like,
I've seen it.
Oblivious after a few drinks, just like boom, and I'm like,
I've
hello?
seen it happen.
Like, what the fuck? And it's happened more than once. So
I'm sure.
So that just is what it is. I don't want to spend a ton of time on it. If you smoke, cool. I mean, I feel bad for you. Chain smoking before you walk in, and then chain smoking when you get out if you have to. They will be doing pat downs, so don't even try to bring the cigarettes because obviously, they've done their homework and people just smoke in bathrooms if they can bring cigarettes in, and they're not going to deal with that either. So no nicotine products are allowed in the building. If you've been to our venue before, you know that they don't allow Zen and dip either. So that's not a new thing. So that's it. Asking Nicholas, when the odds come out, odds usually come out on fight day, usually around noontime on fight day. We don't have the luxury of being posted for a long time. Like the UFC, but they post them on fight day. Usually like a fight will be announced and Bets MGM will take action on fights from the UFC when they're announced. But, with us, they wait till the day of. So about 12 o'clock, just keep hitting BetMGM's app and hitting, refresh and you'll see those odds. And also get your bets in early because in the past, if you're familiar with the Cage Titans events, sometimes the odds don't stay up long. If they start seeing tons of action come in, that they didn't anticipate, sometimes they'll take them down. So, be on the lookout for BetMGM. What's going on, Evan? So I think that's all I got. I really think that's all I got this time. I always say that, but I don't have it. But anyways, let's get into the action. The full fight card is on our website, cagetitans.com. So if you want to follow along, you can go to cagetitans.com, has a full fight card. It's actually bottom to top. The prelims card starts at 6. We got 11 prelims on the card. We'll probably get to the main card about 8:30, 9 o'clock. We got a couple of amateur title fights, but first things first, Elliot Jackson out of Marandola Martial Arts taking on Tony Luciano out of North Shore Muay Thai.
Kicking off with the Muay Thai now again. All right,
sticking off in the Muay Thai. It's easy, because we got one Muay Thai fight, kind of get everybody's appetite, for the striking arts, and then it's easier as well. Sometimes like we've tried to mix the Muay Thai in, but it's kind of easier for the referees and the judging to kind of like put the Muay Thai brain on, have a Muay Thai fight, shut it off, and then go straight to MMA. So it's been working for us a little bit. And Now you have it. Elliot Jackson, Marandola Martial Arts. You've seen Joey Gomez has fought out of Marandola. Later on we have a pro fighter out of Marandola, but Cody Marandola's got his team coming. You got 2 guys representing. Elliot's making his debut, taking on Tony. I think Tony's fought for us before, or he was scheduled to fight for us before.
I don't think he's fought for us. I don't remember him.
I think
scrapping since we've done Muay Thai, not a cage sightings at least. I don't know if he's been.
He's fought Richard Clark twice. All right, he fought Richard Clark, and he fought Michael McDevitt twice. He's fought 3 times on No Boundaries. His cage times debut. He was scheduled for us before, but we didn't come to fruition. But there you go. BetMGM closed the betting lines at the first fight of the night, FYI. So there you go. 4 ounces to freedom. Get those bets early. Well, you know what it was is that actually BetMGM, speaking of that, they came to us after the last event. They were like, "What did you do?" And I was like, "What do you mean, what did we do?" They're like, "Whatever you did, we saw so much action." And the last show, we did put out the odds that morning, but then on the back of the program, we put a QR code that brought you right to BetMGM with all the odds. And so I think everybody who was walking in the door saw the odds, scanned the app, went right to BetMGM and either placed their money, and they saw a huge influx of money come in right out the rip. So that's probably why they shut it down. But they were very happy because they were like, "Whatever you do it again." So I think maybe they'll anticipate the influx, because that's kind of the hard thing. I keep digressing into this, but like the hard thing with these guys, they kind of can gauge what they're going to get on a Red Sox game. They can kind of gauge what they usually see in Boston Bruins or other type sports. With a promotion like ours, kind of under the radar. They don't really know what they're going to get.
We're that box of chocolates.
Yeah. So when they see some of these odds come out, they're like, "Oh shit." So there you go. So there's that. Fun fact, Evan, I do not gamble. I am totally against gambling. So I'm not, which is funny because I'm pumping up BetMGM. Personally, for me, I just do not gamble.
He don't smoke, but he sticks up for smokers. He don't gamble, but he sticks up for gamblers.
I stick up for what's right. What people want to do, what's right.
Freedom.
Yeah, there you go. But I will give you my mother and Rob Pico. Cool. I love that they're in the March Madness. Maybe Andy's a gambleaholic.
No, I wouldn't. No, I'm definitely not a gambleaholic, but I like gambling every now and then. I'm a poker player, but March Madness brackets. That's more just like it's part of being American. I feel like more than gambling. I don't watch college basketball like that. I just pick Duke on default.
Well, I'm going to bore you guys with a story, and you know what? It's my show. We can talk about boring stories. I did gamble once in a March Madness tournament, probably about 8 years ago.
See, that's not even gambling. Like doing a bracket,
they were doing one here at Coops, and when I came into work, Mario was like, "Hey, I threw your name in the March Madness Pro. We needed one more, and we were waiting to pick teams, and I couldn't get anybody else, so I put you in." And I'm like, "Dude, I don't gamble." He's like, "Don't care. I don't care. I couldn't put it under my name because I couldn't have 2 brackets, so I given you one." I'm like, "All right, whatever." I was like, "Do I owe you anything?" He's like, "No, you don't owe me anything. I paid it for you." Whatever. I was like, "No, I'm not taking your money. Here's the $20." I said, "Whatever, but don't ever put me in again. I don't do this shit." Guess who won? Yeah, I fucking won. And I don't know the deal. So I'm in the finals or whatever. And this other girl calls me up, Sarah. And Sarah, I forget her last name, but she calls me up. She's like, "Hey, do you want to split?" And I'm just like, "No." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "Yeah, whatever. If I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. I don't care." And she's like, "All right." So I end up winning. So I take the money and whatever. And then I was the biggest asshole. They were like, "First off, you always split. That's just rude." And I was like, "Oh,
you don't know the gambling etiquette."
And then they were like, "You didn't tip the person to run the pool."
Yep.
I'm like, I go, "What do you mean?" I'm like,
all the gambling etiquette
like,
is that you don't know what you don't know.
And then the following year comes up and they say, "Hey, you're going to be in it because you won last year?" I said, "No, I told you never fucking put me in again." They're like, "You're an asshole. You got to put your money back in because you won last year." And I'm like, "No, I don't give a fuck." So anyways, anywho.
All forever ahead.
That's my boring story about me gambling, but I am very much against gambling. Even when we here at Coops, when people win Keno, it just blows my fucking mind. Sorry, I'm going to go on a rant for a second.
Go down.
I feel very Andy-ish right now, but people come up to me and they have their ticket at Coops and they're like, "Hey, I won $20." And they're so pumped up. And then they'll tip, they'll leave $1 in the jar or something. And they're so pumped up. And then they feel like they have to tip me or tip the house. And I just think to myself, you didn't win fucking $20. You just spent $100. You lost 80. You didn't win 100. You lost 80. And never mind. Now you're tipping. And the same thing when people, I'll go to casinos and stuff and I have a great time, but it's like, so you tip them when you win, but do they tip you when they beat, like when you win? No. And whatever you win is probably not nearly what they've already taken from you. It just fucking blows my mind. So I say it all the time. I just shake my head. I'm like, the government came up with the lottery, so they get money, not because they just feel like giving the public money.
Yep.
And casinos are big and pretty because you give them money, not that they give you more than you give them. It's fascinating.
Like I said, I'm a poker player. I love playing poker.
Still fascinating.
Poker is not as much gambling as it is a game of skill, but there's cards involved and there's luck involved. But I like a blackjack game every now and then. I like taking a few spins on a roulette wheel, but I share the same agreement. It's very silly.
So sorry, guys.
Silly principle. The house always has the advantage, but it's good fun. And if you win, if that's the thing. If I'm winning, I'm walking away with cash. The dealer ain't the casino. Just give it to the dealer. That's what it is. It's just the etiquette
to
thing.
Be there anyways.
I understand, but it's just the problem. You don't gamble, so you're not supposed to. That's a riot. You pissed everyone off in 3 different tiers.
I picked. Well, because the other thing is that it was a whole debate because Mario put my name in, and they were like, so at first they were like, Mike doesn't even gamble. He doesn't even want to be in this. So they were mad because I got like a good team. I guess I don't fucking know. Of course I did because I won, but they're like, that's not fucking fair. So they all wanted me to like repick and pull me out of the pool. And Mario's like, no, he's in it. Like, it's a different name. It's not mine. It was like a whole debacle of like putting me in this tournament. So no, Evan, sorry. I will not be in the March Madness pool 5 minutes later.
Next fight.
And Andy doesn't want to be in the March Madness. Though, we will give you a pump up. If you need to get into a March Madness pool, hit up this man right here, Evan Williams. He is on YouTube. He's also on Facebook and Instagram. So if you want to get in the March Madness pool, he's your man. Just not me. All right, next up. This is something I've been doing a lot in the past. I used to always start the MMA fights off with like a 125er.
Yeah.
This event, though, I'm going complete opposite direction. We're starting with the 185ers, the middleweights. We got Dante Paria out of Triforce taking on Dylan Thompson out of Broadway Jiu-Jitsu. Why, may you ask? I don't know. I just have a feeling about this. You know, Dante, I've heard some great things from Richie Santiago about him, you know, and he's been wanting to fight for a little while, and I hear some great things. He's 0-0, but he comes out of a stud school in Triforce. So I want to roll the dice on Dante. As for Dylan, something makes me intrigued about Dylan. He doesn't have social media, none at all, so I can't even find a picture of him. I've asked for medicals, pictures, and they're like, he is just an anomaly. He's something. That's kind of what I got. We'll try. He's just a little different, which makes me raise an eyebrow. Kind of gives me like this interesting vibe of like he could be like maybe remember Mayday Melvin from Broadway, who was like, again, not really much on social media, kind of very unassuming. He just showed up and was like a beast.
Yep. You got that gut feeling about this
I have a weird feeling about this kid, Dylan Thompson. And then he finally sends me a picture, and it's just like, and he was wearing a shirt. And I'm like, oh, can you ask him for a picture without a shirt? And they're just like, we were lucky to get that. Like, we'll try. So I actually had to Photoshop his head on a different person's body for the poster. So yeah, anyways, I'm just like, there's a lot of question marks on this fight. But knowing Broadway Jiu-Jitsu, Ash Rao.
I gotta look that poster up just to see.
Yeah. Knowing Ash Rao and the Killers out of Broadway, you know, Timmy Melvin, they're one of those gyms that they don't fight on every card. But when they come,
they bring a squad. They bring a squad and they bring bad intentions.
Yeah,
There's no doubt about
Dante,
it.
Dante just, I've heard
a few Triforce guys on the card this one, huh?
Triforce, fuck the world. Let's go, Dante.
Actually, for the win, I think that is Triforce for the win.
I think fuck the world. Actually,
it all works, but Triforce for the win, I think, is what was meant there.
Can we get a clarification? I'm going with fuck the world.
What did Portillo mean? What did Portillo mean?
Yes.
For the win, I think my best for the win. He's fuck the world.
I think it's fuck the world. For the win, come on. Will.
Yeah. It's Free basic,
win.
yeah. Triforce, fuck the world. No,
Yeah,
Triforce for the win.
Fuck the world. Like, Triforce is taking on the world. Like, they got 3-4 guys fighting on this card. Fuck the world. We're taking everybody over. We're taking over.
FTW has always been fuck the world, dude. It's always been for the win.
Oh, it's gamer talk. All right. Again, I don't gamble, and I sure as fuck don't play
Yeah,
video
you
games.
definitely don't video game. I don't video game either, but for the win is pretty universal, yeah.
I thought it was fuck the world. No,
You
fuck the
thought
world.
wrong. No, it's
Can
for the win.
somebody help me out that doesn't think
I've never heard that as a generic FTW.
FTW is fuck the world, dude. Fuck the world. I'm telling you. It's fuck the world. I don't know it. Anybody, there's somebody in this fucking thing that knows it's fuck the world. So I'm hoping somebody pulls through. In the meantime, I'm going to show you my Photoshop skills on this matchup that we're talking about. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Here we go. So here we go. Come on, here we go. We got some comments. Taz agrees. Fuck the world. Yeah, Taz. Fuck the world. That was Taz. He was a wrestler. Even though I'm not much of a wrestling fan, but yeah, I know Taz. Stephanie Ann, what's up, girl? How you doing? Little punchy glove. All right, here we go. So here's the picture that is Dante and Dylan, and that is Dylan. And I'll show you the original photo. That is Dylan on the head, and it is actually Hunter Brahm's body. So there's the original post. There's Dylan photoshopped on Hunter Brahm, so we could have a fight poster. And let me show you who. And this is Hunter Brahm. Let's see if we can. So I'm going to take you through all the iterations of this fight poster.
God.
So here's Hunter Brahm. He's fighting on this card at 170. We'll get to his fight in a little bit. Sorry, Hunter Davis. I'm sorry. Hunter Davis. There was Dylan Thompson. I merged those two to make Dylan Thompson without a shirt off.
Oh, boy.
So there you go.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. Fuck the world. Bo Parlin got me. Rob Pico. Floyd Torres. He's heard of us both. All right. So maybe older people that are non-gamers, fuck the world. Gamers for the win. Yeah, I was never for the win. All right. Well, there you go. That's kicking it off. Middleweight. Dante Perea out of Triforce taking on Dylan Thompson out of Broadway Jiu-Jitsu. Also, the other interesting thing about Dylan is that he has had a fight.
I'm going to go with Perilla.
What did I say?
Perea.
Perilla?
I mean, I know it's Will Portillo.
Perilla?
I think that's Perilla.
Oh, that's why you announced. Commentate.
I could be wrong though. You might be
right.
You might be right for this one. I'm for the win. You're fuck the world. You're Perea. I'm Perilla. That's
all right. Let's see.
We'll see. We'll find out soon enough.
But next up,
the name you just mentioned, Hunter Brum, coming to us from Regiment Training Center, taking on Kadu Lanes out of Back to Basics, and both of these guys are making their debut at featherweight. So the two gyms that throw savages in there when they're ready, and both of these guys seem ready. We'll discover a lot about both of them come Saturday night.
Just to give you a little insight on this matchup as well. So Hunter Brum was gonna actually fight Jake Callender back in November, but his blood work, like he took the fight on a week's notice, and take on undefeated Jake Callender on a week's notice was kind of crazy as an 0-0. But he put his name in. Went rushed to get his medicals, but his blood work took an extra day, so it didn't. I
think I remember this. Yeah.
Jake Callender ended up not fighting that night, but that just kind of gives you the confidence that the regiment team has. They were going to throw him in there with an undefeated guy, right out the rip. As for Kadu Lanes, he's with Back to Basics Jeff Perez. He was scheduled to fight at Combat FC 2 events ago, so he's been ready to fight for a little while now. This fight excites me because I think the confidence level, like. There's sometimes when you get guys to fight, and coaches will be honest with me sometimes. They'll just be like, hey, Mike, I got this guy who wants to fight. He's not my typical killer, but, we'll throw him in depending on the matchup. And that, there's a lot of trust that I have in coaches, and there's a lot of trust that coaches have in me that I'm going to do right by them. Because I'll say to them, just tell me straight out, like, what am I working with here? In this matchup, both coaches told me what I was working with, and they're like, we don't fucking care who we fight. These guys are studs. That's
what we say when you never know what you're going to get with two debuted fighters, and between Regiment and Back to Basics, just bred killers out of there. You see the splash that they have out the gate whenever you see a debutant within a few years. Their name is resonating in the hall. So can't wait for this matchup, and I feel like there's a bunch of these debut versus debut matchups on this fight card.
Yeah, and that's just the reality. They peel back the curtain on the weight, on the matchmaking. It's just like Sometimes they're like, hey, I'm going to be a little picky on this guy. Like, I'll let him fight, but it has to be the right guy. And then there's guys that are just like, send us a name. Some guys say the name doesn't matter. We're taking anybody. Hunter Brum has definitely been that guy. And Kadu Lanes has been very similar, where Jeff Perez is like, yeah, man, we just need him in there and competing. And then sometimes my job becomes easier or sometimes harder after that, because now people have put eyes on these guys. It's hard to say yes to an 0-0 when it's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to get. And we'll find out. So let's go. Hunter Brum versus Kadu Lanes. We know all what we're getting about this matchup. This is that one that you might want to say.
Yeah. Josh Robertson out of Triforce. He's making his MMA debut. We've seen him kickbox before, and just savage, heavy-handed, making his lightweight debut against Anthony King, who really splashed on the scene last year. One of the bloodiest bloodbaths of Cage Titans history. So circle, watch, enjoy.
Yeah, this excites me because Anthony, that they dub him the Red King now. Dude, he's shown that you got to bring a shotgun to the cage to finish him.
No shit.
Like Noah Shlama just was. I thought he knocked him dead at the end of the round, and everybody thought it was over, and he came back and pulled out the win. What makes this one fun for me is Josh Robinson. We've seen him in the kickboxing world, and he's biding his time. Like, we saw him in the kickboxing world over a year ago, and he's been kind of waiting it out to get back into MMA because that was his ultimate goal. When this matchup came to fruition, I just talked about it with the 0-0s. Like, either your job becomes harder or easier when somebody sees him. Anthony King made my fucking job hard because it's like
nobody wants
you
to fight him.
You just see his fight and you're like, yeah, dude, I don't know what the fuck I can do to get this kid to beat him and put him away. Josh Robinson had that video, and Josh Robinson was able to watch that fight and say, yes, I'll fight him. Not, hey, do you got anybody else? A little easier debut for me. I'll take him. He knows every bit what he's getting himself into, and he's accepted the challenge and wanted that challenge. Gives me high hopes for Robertson, and also as for Anthony King, we've already seen what we get out of him. We know what he brings. This fight's going to be bananas. Speaking of bananas, we do have a debut later on. Nick Martino, he will be making his debut. We'll get to his fight, but Floyd Torres said he's going to be wearing orangutan shorts. So, bananas, orangutan shorts. You've had a fun joke about Harambe one time, too.
That was my commentary debut. Somebody was rocking Harambe shorts. Who was it? William Graustock, I think it was.
Yes.
Off the top of my head. Yeah, you called me as I was playing poker at Foxwoods and told me I had the commentary job because you enjoyed some lines that I had that night. I had a few good ones that time, but that's almost 10 years ago. Holy crap.
Yeah, it's been a while.
9 years almost.
Portillo, Floyd Torres, we got some Triforce people in the house pumping them up. So let's look forward to that one, Andy.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to this next one as well because we don't know anything about one fighter, and we got wind of big personality in this other one. Jordan Devades at a regiment training center, huge personality, ran into Gavin O'Connell last time out and lost a fight through 3 hard-fought rounds, but him jumping back in with 4 fights under his belt, looks to climb back above 500, taking on the debuting Hunter Davis out of the lab.
The body of Dylan Thompson.
Very true. Yes.
If you missed that earlier.
But the lab, not one to shy away from any kind of immense challenges. One clear example from a few years back, Lorenzo Fitzgerald making his pro debut, short notice.
It's Brody McDougal.
Against Everett Desolé, but just able to. Not a school that's going to shy away from taking on an immense challenge, no matter what, and this fight's no different.
And just to give you the insight, like I like to give you, very much like the last fight, when I said Josh Robinson had all the video to watch on Anthony King and accepted the challenge, very similar to Hunter Davis here in this fight. So I keep mixing Hunter Davis and Hunter Brum. Not often you get 2 Hunters on the card, but anyways, Hunter Davis out of the lab. Hunter Davis, the answer from Brett O'Terry in the lab on at least 3 different opponents was yes, yes, yes. And on the other side, no, no matter what. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Just don't understand. Like, how is this guy not getting fights? So finally, I kind of told Brett, I'm like, listen, the only guy I got for you is a 2-2 guy. I don't know if it'll make a lot of sense for a debut against a 2-2, but we might have to hold off Hunter to the next one. And then, like the next day, Brett's like, fuck it, we'll take the 2-2 guy. And, because I did say to him, I'm like, listen, it doesn't make sense, so I didn't even offer it because he's like, you got nothing else? I'm like, well, I got somebody, but it wouldn't really make sense, I don't think. And he was like, who is it? And then I'm like, the videos are out there. Watch the video. Let me know. And he came back the next day and was like, let's do it. So this is another situation where I'm like, kind of like I felt with the Josh Robinson, Anthony King. I'm like, okay, they know what they're getting in Jordan Tavares, and they accepted the challenge. What do they know? What do they think they can implement? But then on the Jordan Tavares side, it's like, you think you watch me on video, and that tells the story. Wait till you get in the cage with me.
Yep.
And he's an intimidating presence.
Yeah,
in
he
the
is,
cage.
man. Wicked intense. So
Let's go.
Stoked for that amateur matchup.
And he's in the comments now. You, since the day we've announced this card and this fight was announced, you telling me that this is the one that you love.
Yeah, I
So,
really,
go ahead,
really
I'll give it
like.
to you, Andy.
I really like this matchup. These guys have exhibited no quit and a ton of speed and skills. They both come from incredibly respected schools. Neil Mazumdar, Will Portillo. They're going to be matching up. They've got a ton of experience under their belt already. So there's going to be an amateur showdown that is going to be electrifying from start to finish. You're going to see a real transition at this point in the card in terms of just guys that are going in there without those jitters. The experience level is just flowing between them. The skill set's incredible, and you're just in for a wild ride between these two flyweights.
For me, when you look at this fight, 5 fights, 6 fights from Mazumdar, 4 or 5 fights between kickboxing and all that stuff for both these guys. Usually you're seeing guys 0-0, 1-0. They might go 2 or 3-0, fight for an amateur title and go pro. These guys have been around the amateurs for a little while. 5, 6 fights between them for each of them. So I think that this is one of those fights that they could be, early pros if they went a different direction, but they've decided to stay amateur and continually hone their skills. And so I think you're going to see a high level competitive fight between these two.
Oh yeah, big time indeed.
Not some of the 0-0s or the early guys that are trying to get the jitters out of the way, and they're still trying to figure out their pacing and things of that nature. Both these guys know what it's like to walk in Memorial Hall, walk into a cage, know what they're doing, and know how to prepare. So I think this is one of those amateur fights where you're getting 2 high level guys for the amateur ranks. So it should be a fun one. Floyd Torres, let me guess. He's got the Joker card up. We got 2 Jokers. That's another fun fact. 2 Jokers on this card. Will Portillo is the Joker, and we got Jay the Joker Perrin in that main event.
Indeed.
For the Carnival of Carnage. Let's go. Kind of made me think, my man, thank you.
I needed that. Wow.
Will, we're excited to have you back. All right. If anybody's an ICP fan, we talked about the stuff I don't like. I wanted to do some insane clown posse, like the Joker cards, if you remember. They had a bunch of albums like the Great Malenko.
And the only thing I know about ICP is back my first vehicle, Dodge Ram, driving through Worcester. It was an ICP concert. I almost had to pull the baseball bat out. A few of those
ICP's wild, but
juggalos were
when I was in high school, that was like the Joker card. They had the Ringmaster.
ICP when you were in high school?
That was their Joker card, the album. I don't even remember. That whole thing was like 1999. I graduated, so I'm fucking old.
I graduated 2010, and the Juggalos were there. We had a bunch of them around.
Somebody said ICP now explains "fuck the world." Yeah, there you go. 4 ounces of freedom. But yeah, so ICP had a whole Joker card thing, like the Great Malenko, the Ringmaster. They had it was 5 Joker card, and each one represented an album. So I actually kind of wanted to do a tie-in with that, but
I'm kind of glad we didn't.
It was badass. I'm telling you, man. Somebody knows. And again, if you didn't like the music, whatever, but the cover artwork was just fucking.
It was definitely a culture around it. There's
Look
no
it
doubt
up.
about it.
Just the artistry and the cover work was pretty cool. Now I'm gonna tell people what it is. I'm gonna show people. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So they just had a cool let me see. I'm gonna share.
I don't hate it. I'm not.
The Dark Carnival. All right, here we go. So I'm going to show you guys. We're going down all kinds of
so many rabbit holes tonight.
But here we go. So this is where it is. So this is where I was thinking. Imagine if we did a tie-in with, Jay Perrin as that guy. Like if we had the artistic.
You really
chops.
want a bunch of juggalos to
No,
show up? No. I'm just saying.
I'm not trying to tie into
They'll
it.
be here for the first show. We don't allow smoking at the hall. It's not going to work.
Ringmaster ICP. So here's like another one of their cover arts. So again, I'm not saying we're going to be bumping ICP. I'm just saying like this would have been a cool tie-in for.
That's the kind of top hat I'm going to wear.
Yeah, like a cool tie-in.
That's the look I'm going
with
for.
The artistry. I think it was called the Joker cards. Joker cards ICP. Here we go. Again, let's see if I can get this full size. So there you go. Some of their cool artistry that came out with those albums. So I thought like we could maybe make, one the Joker, or one could be Kenny Champion if we could get some artists to kind of do their own version of it. I digress.
It's fight week now, though.
But that was where I was going with it. The Dark Carnival. Yes, there you go. The Carnival of Carnage, the Dark Carnival, the whole thing to it. Anyways, next up, we talked about the orangutan shorts. Nick Martino from Gary Boletto's gym will be making his debut, taking on Matt McIntyre. Third time's the charm for McIntyre out of the lab. Matt McIntyre has had 2 debuts fizzle. One was due to a pre-fight physical. Next one, his opponent just no-showed to weigh-ins. Third time's the charm. He's got a tall task ahead of him in the debuting Nick Martino. Nick Martino, a solid wrestler. I believe he wrestled in high school. I'm not sure about college. I've seen that he's done some Golden Gloves and some boxing. So this kid's coming in with some experience, though he's a 0-0. And he's training with the champ, Gary Boletto, two sport champ as a boxer and CES as MMA champ. I think even 2 weight classes. So, he trains with Stud and Gary Boletto. Nick Martino's been the guy that's been trying to get a debut, but 205ers are rare to find. And we found one in Matt McIntyre, and we got a match. And boy, do we ever.
Yep. Indeed. I mean, McIntyre's been waiting a long time for this moment to happen. And Martino at Boletto's gym, I've been a fan of Gary Boletto from a distance. He fights other organizations around here, but I've seen him fight plenty of times to see a pupil of his.
He fights for CES.
He fights for CES, of course.
We're not
Yeah,
that
we fight for
promotion that
CES.
doesn't mention other promotions. We know they exist.
I know that. Yes.
We know
I've
exist.
seen I've seen Gary Boletto fight at CES several times. Big fan of how he brings it. Definitely been
He's defending his title like 2 weeks after us. April 5th, I think their next card is.
Yeah. So to see one of his pupils make their debut at Plymouth Memorial Hall, very excited to see what his next generation under his tutelage is going to bring, because he's been fun to watch and just an absolute savage performer as a martial artist. So to see him coaching the next generation is just an exciting thing to think about.
And it's always been for a few years for me, seeing the generation change as I've seen guys who made their amateur debut to pro debut to now coaching debut. So it's been fun to see, and something now you're getting experience as well.
Yep. I forgot Big Mike wasn't here, so I didn't want to hear from him after. Yes. No, I always have a good time anytime I attend a CES event and watch the fight. So I've definitely seen Gary Boletto fight.
Absolutely. Calvin Dalton, what's going on, my man? I see you throwing up the support for Masvidal. I know you're finishing up college this semester. We can't wait to see you back in the summer. Shout out to Calvin Dalton. He's been a stud in the flyweight division. You're sure he's got his eye on that division.
Oh, yeah.
All right, here we go. Another big one.
Now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of this amateur, the cabbage and potatoes.
Cabbage, corned
before we get to the corned beef of the pro section. These next few amateur fights are just riddled with experience. You're gonna have to go back. I forgot the order.
All right, Igor Zaltzman.
There we go. Igor Zaltzman versus Eric Wynn. Zaltzman at a New England submission, Western Mass School. I know he's trained in Natick before as well. Taking on Eric Wynn at a Back to Basics. Back to Basics has a slew of fighters on this card, all capsizing in this matchup here. We've seen Wynn in there in some hard fought battles. We know he's got some natural finishing abilities. Same with Zaltzman. He's win, lose, or draw. He's going to be bringing it. There's no quitting him. He's a devastating striker. You're going to see a lot of action in this lightweight matchup. They're both young in their careers, but both have gotten their feet wet enough where you can absolutely say with a certainty that they're bringing a level of experience that this Plymouth Memorial Hall crowd is going to be pleased to see in this matchup. They're going to be calculated violence full on display when Zaltzman takes on Wynn.
All right, next up, we got some return to females. You saw them both in action last event. And I did say in the lead up to that event, you might see some matchups between the four of these ladies start intermingling after that card.
Here it is.
And here we go. Tara Williamsley, fresh off her win in her debut back in January. She is here to return to take on Melissa Santos out of Jake Pilla's Gorilla Crew. Yeah, man, we saw a lot of stuff. I mean, Melissa Santos fought Erica Valentin, went to a decision with Alyssa Tottori. You know the level of those two girls. This girl's standing there hanging in with those type of girls. And then her victory in her career was like a 20-second knockout. So you know she's got some power. So she has the skill level. She's got the power. She's got it all.
And she's got the hunger to get that first win. She's been on the show plenty of times. She's very vocal about her training and fallen short in some hard-fought decisions as of late, but determined and hungry to get that Plymouth Memorial Hall win. It's a goal that she has stated and been very vocal about. And Tara Walmsley, she's got the bug. You know, she waited a long time to make that debut walk, and she finally did. And it was one of the craziest comebacks I've ever seen with my own two eyes in a decade of calling fights. So super stoked to see her returning with that same hunger on the other side of the coin, wants to continue that wave of momentum that she has from her last outing, and Melissa Santos looking to stop the momentum, garner some of her own, getting that Plymouth Memorial Hall first win. Stoked to see the ladies on the card. They have a tendency to steal the show, and this matchup in all likelihood, just based on what we've seen both of these ladies bring, could very much so do so.
That's why we put it in this featured bout spot right before the two amateur fights. Our first amateur title fights. Our first amateur title fight is a vacant belt up for grabs. We have Aiden Giuliani, who's undefeated. We've had him on the show, taking on 3-1 from Dexter MMA. Eric Zane. Ton of skill here again. He talks about it. Yeah,
Giuliani jumping up a weight class, undefeated, a lot of quick finishes. He just seems like he's a viper on the ground or a python on the ground. That South Shore Sport Fighting club and sub style is what he brings, and nobody's been able to stop it thus far. But Eric Zane, an absolute dog, coming to us from Dexter. You've never heard that? Club and sub?
I'm going to tell South Shore Sport Fighting to take that and put it on a T-shirt. The club and sub. South Shore.
That's an old. That's a vintage. That's a vintage saying.
I've not heard that one.
No, it's you hurt them on the feet and shove them on the ground when they hit it, and that's and Eric Zane, just a well-rounded dog of a fighter, as they breed them down in Groton, Connecticut. So quiet kid, kind of flies under the radar, doesn't really talk much, but they don't need to when they throw down like that. And you've seen him. His last win over Ruben Bitar was cracking one goose egg of an undefeated fighter. He's looking to crack another egg en route to becoming the lightweight champion. Stoked to see both of these schools facing off each other with these young pupils competing in the cage, and rightfully so deserved for that lightweight strap.
Yeah, man, I'm pumped up for this fight. When this fight kind of came together, there was some back and forth that might not come together. And then when they finally got them both, because it's funny, this is a situation I think I talked about when this fight came together. This is a story of two fighters. Aiden, who's fought his entire career at 45, wanting a 55 fight. So obviously the title made sense for him. Zane, who's had his 3-1 stellar performances at 55, wanting to drop down to 45. So, and fight for a title there. And it's like, all right, I got both these guys. Giuliani, who's in line for a title, but he wants to be at 55. And Zane, who's had all this success at 55, wanting to go to 45 for a title, but the guy who's probably in line, which is Giuliani, not wanting to go at 45, want to go at 55. Either way, I just knew this fight and this matchup was going to be amazing. So yeah, that's what we got.
Whatever weight class it's happening in, I'm glad it's happening.
All right. Next up, our final fight of the undercard.
We've talked about this fight so many times because why not?
I mean, Carter
it should,
Whitty.
it should be talked about so much because, and I'm so happy that there's only less than a week to go before we get to see how this fight plays out, because it's truly a clash of styles of perfection, if you will. I mean, just the mastery that Ash Rao brings to the table in terms of his defensive soundness, his well-roundedness. Wherever the fight goes, he seems to find a way to be in control. And it's truly a spectacle to watch. On the other side of that coin in this title fight is Carter Whitty, who's had his ups and downs in his career, but those ups are as explosive as ups can get. And he's riding significant momentum with two craziest amateur knockouts that they could be number one and number two craziest amateur knockouts of all time at cage side. There's been
some good ones.
That flying switch kick was some unreal shit. And flying off that momentum there, coming in as hot as he is, Ash Rao has that style to be the cooler. And that's what makes this fight game so exciting, is all of those possibilities.
Carter Whitty's so dynamic.
You have no idea how Carter Whitty's going to kill you. You just know that he's coming to kill you. And Ashrath Rao is a tactician with the fight IQ through the roof, who has that kind of like GSP style of nullifying pressure, where he's just finds a way to win. Even when he's hurt, he finds a way to get back ahead.
And he was in a very similar matchup.
Yeah,
his win for the title against Snyder.
Kane Snyder, Kane Snyder had him hurt a few times, but Ash Rao was able to keep composure and establish dominance. So we've really got one of those unstoppable force, immovable objects, blazing wildfire, crazy tidal wave clashing. You have no idea how the soup is going to come together in the cage, the violent soup between these two, but
still.
We have no fucking clue, but we don't care. We're just going to show up and enjoy the spectacle that these two artists are going to bring. Ash Rao defending his belt against Carter Whitty. I couldn't be more excited for this bantamweight title fight.
There you go, man. So I'm excited
I'm a huge fan of both of them, and they're just like two outstanding young gentlemen who are ready to throw down.
And they're so very different as well, it was just like another level of this fight.
But they're also similar in their humility. They're kind of both quiet. They're just like very.
Carter has like so many dynamic ways to win. It like can stop it at a minute, and Ash is more like the technician that's gonna drag you out and see the situation and kind of figure it out from there. But
he'll take your arm home with him too.
Undercard's gonna be stacked. We're just getting started. I am happy to share. I actually just got this email, and this is what the best thing about the show is. I just got this email at 8:52 today, and it's some videos that Spectation has put together. So I got two. I'm going to play one right now before we get to the main card, because this is going to be. I always feel bad because like we make these videos and then we play them at the event, and like only the people that are there get to see it. But I'm going to share it with you now, and I haven't even seen it. So if you like it, cool. Let us know. If you don't like it, give me some suggestions, and I'll go back to them and tell them to make some changes. But here's going to be the opener for the main card.
Oh, snap.
I have not seen it, so
we're all.
See. going to tell them to go for a round 2 on the edits there. I'll leave it at that. A for effort. I see what they were doing. I see what Spectation was trying. As you know, first thing Dion Rubio's pulled out, so I'll have to give an update on that. But I don't know about from failing the game show theme and the way they stretched my frame. I don't like how they stretched the frame. You can't do that. A little too cartoony for me. I was going for the Carnival of Carnage. So I will give them some edit changes. Don't even bother sending me edit changes because that's not going to be what's played on Fight Night. Yeah. Carney music. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not feeling it. Listen, A for effort. And this is what people are always like, Mike, why don't you delegate stuff? That's what happens when you delegate stuff. What comes out like that. Sorry, guys, if you're watching Spectation. You tried. Spectation actually tried to take the delegation of making the posters for me last show, and then let's put it this way, it did not get past the chopping room floor.
Get the E for effort.
So, yeah, hey, listen, man. They have one more video. It's too cheerful. Absolutely. It was a little too cheerful. Definitely. We need Dark Carnival. All right. You know what? I got to give them a chance to redeem themselves. This is their video that they have for us they want us to play before the main event. You guys, let's give them a chance at redemption. I have not seen this because this all came over at the same time.
They've done them before.
So let's give them a chance at redemption because I don't want them to go 0 for 2, but they might. But at least it's only Monday and they have a couple days to give me a better.
Here's the next at bat.
Here we go.
The main event of Cage Titans 70 features former UFC bantamweight Jay Perrin moving up to featherweight.
Nice hands from Perrin.
He'll take on Cage Titans OG champion, knockout artist Kenny Champion.
He's throwing. Oh, big right hand. Drops.
Fresh off a 48-second knockout, Champion is chasing his 5th professional stoppage.
He's powerful. He's much faster.
But Perrin believes his experience and overall skill set will be too much.
I'm not saying that he's not tough. Not a fucking... You need more than tough.
Yeah.
That's it. You need more than tough at this point to fight me. If you're fucking tough, great, dude. I'm okay with beating you up for 15 minutes. I'm straight with that. But I'm still beating you up. You know what I mean? You're going to need more than tough.
Can Champion seize the biggest win of his career?
My hand will be raised at the end. Again, I am the one true champion.
The wait is over. Perrin, Champion, let's go.
All right. They got a little redemption there. A little redemption. Definitely redemption. I love how they use the interviews, their own verbiage. I will give them a passing grade for that one. That was redemption. I'm glad we played it because I want you guys to know, I swear, I've not seen those. 8:52 is when that email came in. It came in while we were on air, and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to watch it with this.
Oh, so the 1 for 2?
Yeah, 1 for 2. I love Dan. Let me know what song that Carney song was so I don't accidentally play it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And Sean Tingley, he gives me the thumbs up on that second video. All right, so we give him 50-50. Good job. The Carney. The thing is with that, like when you go with Carnival theme, because I thought about that when we made the post-it Carnival theme. It's like it's kind of a big swing, and if you do it wrong, you end up with the video you just watched that they made. If you do it right, you got some cool graphics like we got for you.
You really hated that first video.
Look at it. You do it right, you get graphics like that. You do it wrong, you got friggin' Carney music going on like that video. So I applaud the effort on the first video. Execution, Z. The second video.
I ain't saying shit.
Second video, they did a good job. But they have a second version of it. Let's just see what this second version, because the first one says Cage Titans 70 main event without voiceover. The next one says just Cage Titans 70 main event. Let's see what this one is.
Let's hear it for Kenny, Young OG Champion.
He don't see it going past the second round, and that's good because I don't see it going past the second round either.
He's powerful. He's much faster.
My hand will be raised at the end. Again, I am the one true champion.
Oh, nice right. Oh, big right hand from Kenny Champion. Drops Aaron Hughes right in front of us.
Kenny's a tough guy. He's going to sit there and not back away or run away from me or shoot. He's going to try and fucking stand in the pocket and knock me out. And great. I love that because that is going to force me to use my hands more and show you guys that I am a complete threat.
Nice hands from Perrin.
He's not tough. Not a fucking... You need more than tough.
Yeah.
That's it. You need more than tough at this point to fight me. If you're fucking tough, great, dude. I'm okay with beating you up for 15 minutes. I'm straight with that, but I'm still beating you up. You know what I mean? You're going to need more than tough.
Big right hand from Perrin. Right hand and dropped him.
I gotta say that was the best.
The third one's a charm.
Third one's the charm. That's definitely.
I kind of like that one too.
Yeah, that one was easily the best one out of
Yeah.
the three.
I
No
don't know if it was
questions.
choppy for you. I think it's just because we're trying to pump out. I had to cue all four to throw into the thing, so I think we're just having a hard time. Like that one better. All right, Miguel likes the third one. All right, third one's the charm. All right,
Yeah,
I think
the
third
one without the voiceover
third one we're
was smooth.
all right.
That was straight,
So
just smooth the
straight
whole way
Z
through.
for the first one.
Yeah.
We'll give them like a good passing grade for the
Right.
second.
The first one was fucking.
In the third
No,
one.
you're up.
All right. All right. Best of the three. All right. You know what? This is what Table Time's all about. You know, you never know what you're going to get.
No,
Whatever mood I'm in, I just throw it out
Took
there.
about that first chocolate, and it was like a dog turd in the chocolate, and then we got like cherry truffle, and then we finally got the coconut
You sure
chocolate. at the end.
you don't like the first one? You don't want to see that?
Music, cut the elf music.
Definitely not. That's a hard no. That's a hard no. That's a
Will
hard
Ferrell was gonna show up out of nowhere. We don't want him in tights.
All right. Well, I'm glad I played all those for you guys. We're going to tell them we'll take the third one. We'll take the third one. And A for effort, Z for execution on that first one. That one.
As the most interest, as the Dos Equis most interesting man once said, find out what you're not good at, and don't do that thing.
Well, you know, another thing, speaking of like kind of the tie-ins, like I mentioned the ICP thing that some people didn't get. What about American Horror Story? They had that freak show. I was also kind of trying to draw some inspiration for that. If you're an American Horror Story fan. But anyways.
I don't like clowns. I don't like carnivals. I don't need no circus elephants. Cage Titan 71's coming up, but we're gonna make some fun.
All right,
with
here we
with
go.
The Carnival of Carnies.
We got-
And Carnies fucking scare me, by the way. That's a weird look.
You're a fucking carny, Andy.
I know I am, but that's why they scare me.
Andy is the carny of carnies with his mustache and all that stuff. But anyways, we're gonna get right to
I mean,
the
the
action.
ones that try to entice you to play the games that you can't win. If you walk by without, like the pop-up ones, they get nasty. They're weird. They scare me sometimes.
Oh man. Anyways, we're kicking things off on the main card. We got Phil Lucino taking on John Medina. We talked about this fight a little earlier to start the show. Unfortunately, Will Smith is ill, a little under the weather. Has some things he's got to clear up before he can get back to competing. So that fight's on pause. I'm definitely pausing this fight because
Yeah.
Phil Lucino versus Will Smith's one I definitely want to see.
100%. I think that
know.
Lucino is making a splash as a pro, and Will Smith has been seasoned in the division for quite some time, but wishing him a speedy recovery in stepping Taino blood. John Medina, who's looking for his first win and trying to crack the goose egg of Bambino Lucino, who is on a mission to refuse to let that happen.
Yeah, and as for Medina, Taino blood, like, this kid is just he's so hungry to get in there and compete, and I want to see what he can do here. Like he's always said, people, he's better off standing, and Bambino's a guy who's not afraid to sit there and trade. So, Medina might have a better outing this time, depending on which direction this fight goes. Lucino's not known to be a big submission ground guy, so it should play a little better favor to Medina. So have a little better showing this card. And as for Lucino, we did talk about that Will Smith fight down the line, but he does have a task ahead of him, so he's got to handle that business this upcoming Saturday night.
There we go.
And always shout out to Medina. There's always two sides of a fight card, and without Medina willing to step in on 6 days notice,
No kidding.
Bambino wouldn't have been able to compete. So shout out to Medina. And I'm excited to see how he turns out, because he was actually preparing for a boxing match this Saturday, which happened to be the same exact day. So he was
Maybe
preparing for a
audible.
boxing day. It kind of happened. That fight fell out. He was like, I'm training for a fight anyways. It just happened to be boxing. And I'm like, well, Bambino's kind of a brawler, so it might suit you well if we getting a little striking contest with Bambino. So here we go. Next up, We do have Jay Cakesenbaugh on the card. He'll be in this number 2 on the main card slot, but we're not quite ready to announce
Can't
the opponent.
announce it yet, but
I mean,
it's
some
going to be
people,
fun.
it's out there, but
If you know, you know. But
You
if
know,
you
you
don't,
know.
you ain't going to find out tonight.
yeah, I can't tell you here because I made a promise. I got to record a video for one half of the card.
It's unfortunate because I want to talk about this fight, but you'll
Give me a hint.
understand.
If you haven't, if you want to hear us talk about
No,
the fight, go
don't
back
spoil
like
it.
a year.
Don't
And you-
spoil it. It's still, you can't give any more hints. Don't spoil it. It's
Fine,
done.
I'm not saying.
It's done.
Anyways, we're going right to the next fight. The
All
15th
right.
fight on the night. Sterling Meacham, the Bear, out of Marandola Martial Arts, making his Cage Titans debut, taking on Antoine Caparata. 8 years away from the cage for Antoine. Had a great amateur career. Fun fact, he actually fought Kenny Champion as an amateur.
Mhm.
Holds a win over Kenny Champion as an amateur. That was down at 145. This fight's at 170. Antoine, what's he been doing this time off? Nursing some injuries. He became a competitive cheerleader and went off to nationals. So he's been doing a lot of weird, kind of crazy things. And I guess, you know, there's not many times you hear about a male cheerleader. The only other one we know about is Shane Delahaye.
yeah.
But anyways, he's been doing that, and he's stepped away from cheerleading, and here he is getting back in the cage. What should you be excited about this fight? What's he been doing? You know, Sterling Meacham.
Didn't he make his pro debut
He
in
made
Japan?
his pro debut in Japan. And I cannot get over this. I had a conversation with our broadcaster today, and it was like, this kid was overseas, and I want to say like either studying or just taking a trip abroad, and decided to get in a professional cage fight. No amateur fights to his credit. Just was in Japan and was like, yeah, I'm going to take a pro fight. And he went to decision with the guy, and the guy that he went to decision with is a 6-1 pro right now. So like the kid he fought was pretty legit.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's Sterling Meacham. He's about that life. He's about like, hey, I'm going backpacking, you know, overseas, and I might take a pro debut fight. I think it was like Pride rules too, because it was only 2 rounds. But anyways, I don't know what I'm going to get with Sterling Meacham. I can tell you the mindset that he has though, and that's to be overseas and just take a fight in a foreign country.
And he's training at a Cody Marandola school, which has done nothing but take on tough tasks and tough challenges. So this is, I believe, their first professional
Yes.
fight that they're going to be putting forth. And Antoine Caparata, being as decorated as he is on this long-awaited return, circle it. This is going to be a fun welterweight scrap.
Yeah, man, and Antoine, for the new Cage Titans people, you know, might not have seen him for a while, but he was a great amateur, you know, main training partner, high school classmate of Joe Giannetti and Big Mikey Da Silva. That's how he got in this sport. You know, training that social sport fighting with the likes of D. Sabatino, Manny Bermudez, Johnny Cupcakes, all the studs that came out.
Oh,
of the
yeah.
gym. So, you know, no shortage of tough training partners that he's been with. So, yeah, man, just this should be one that should be fun, and I'm pretty excited for it. I'm
Very
excited
much.
to see Antoine make his return, and I'm kind of excited to see the Bear, Sterling Meacham. You know, I can't wait to talk to him. You got to ask the story at weigh-ins, get the backstory on that whole Japan fight.
Okay, I will. I
Yeah.
definitely will.
Definitely, because that's got to be something talked about.
I always look forward to weigh-ins, man. Weigh-ins is a fun day. It's a non-stop day, but it's always a fun day.
All right, next up in our featured bout of the night on the main card, we got Tom Santos coming to us from Brazil, taking on Miguel Savesin. You know, if you've been around Cage Titans, Miguel Savesin's fought for Cage Titans his whole career. You know what type of fight. He's always in that circle, that fight. You know, slugfest, take one to give one. We always joke, it's like, do you ever block? You know, do you ever like move away from a punch or just block it with your face on purpose? Like, he has that Justin Gaethje type style. Like, you know, you want to see Miguel Savesin fight. As for his opponent in this one, you know, Tom Santos has come up short in his 3 outings with Cage Titans. But remember, those were against Peter Barrett, Zach DiSabatino, Don Shannis. 2 out of the 3 are UFC veterans. He's had a tough task in his trip to the States. This one, he feels that it favors him a little bit more if in a stand-up striking brawl. He's got some good knockouts on his his belt.
It's big power. He hasn't been on display in Memorial Hall yet because he's faced some stiff competition, but he has the capability to shut anyone's lights out at 155, and Miguel is one to get involved in brawls. No matter what the case is, you know that you're in for bloody warfare when it comes to a Miguel Mother effing Severson fight. So yeah, don't blink in this one. I can see both of these guys meeting in the center and not budging until someone takes an involuntary nap, whoever it may be. And yeah, Santos hungry for that win. Miguel Severson undefeated, looking to stay that way and really make a run at this lightweight division. It's going to be an exciting fight.
Sean, take me. Wow, you guys are brutal with the comments. Yeah, listen, man. I will say this. I know that this doesn't play into a fight, but Tom Santos' wife is flying in. Tom Santos has been in Vegas for the last month and a half since we made this fight, training for this fight. His wife is flying in from Brazil for her first trip to the United States to watch this fight and see her husband fight. So I welcome Mrs. Santos to Cage Titans. Let's all be friendly and supportive because it takes both sides. But either way, the fans are in for a treat because this is going to be a fun fight. This is a fight that should be interesting, and how Miguel fights, and Tom is excited because he feels that like he's going to get to showcase who he is. DSAB was able to kind of get to the ground, submit him. Peter, who's not even a submission guy, got him to the ground and got the submission.
Oh, we got 2 fights left. Can we
so
make it?
Shayna, no, I got another battery, but anyways. We can try to bang them out.
Let's try to bang them out.
In
we
the
got
co-main event.
2 fights left before this battery
it.
dies. You're going to change it anyways?
Yeah.
Gene Patrick coming all the way up from Brazil as well, taking on Joe Poirier. Patrick, never been finished in his professional career. Gas tank for days, well-rounded, willing to make it a dogfight. And Joe Poirier, a finishing machine, making a run at this flyweight division. They're fighting at a catchweight, though, for this time being. And yeah, Poirier is just one that you don't want to ever blink. He's all action, coming off a big win in his first decision win, his last outing. So we know that he's got the gas tank. And is Gene Patrick going to be able to capitalize on the deep waters, or is Joe Poirier going to walk away being the first man to finish Gene Patrick?
Yeah, listen, man. I mean, Gene Patrick's this guy's coming to us from Brazil. There's not a lot of footage out there on his fight. There is a video out there from Fury rounds. This kid, this is not a lay down type fight.
Nope.
If you look at Gene Patrick, he trains at Shootbox Academy. It's world famous. Vanderlei Silva, he's on probably many people's Mount Rushmore of UFC or just MMA guys.
Definitely pride.
The axe murderer, this guy. So that's where he came from. Charles Oliveira is one of Gene Patrick's main training partners. They're super good friends. If you just go quickly look at his social media, and you'll see pictures littered of the two of them together. Also, Gene Patrick, 4-2 in MMA, but this guy has dozens upon dozens of Muay Thai fights, Muay Thai championships. Those are a little harder to track in a database, but again, look at his social media, and you'll see all these fights he's been having all over the world. This kid is decorated. And Joe Poirier called me out the other day and was just like, I'm so happy you made this fight because, like, I need this type of fight to get recognition. And, just kind of fighting a lay-down bum was not going to do it for me. He made it pretty far in the interview process for the Ultimate Fighter this past season, which was at flyweight, and he feels his name's on the tip of the tongue of the matchmakers over at the UFC, and a big statement win here, gets him that call. He's what they like. They like finishers, and Joe Poirier brings it. And I'm sure on the flip side, Charles Oliveira, who has the pull he has at the UFC, he's probably, little in the air too. Like, hey guys, this is one of my buddies. Like, if you can get this big win here, what do you think? Give him a look. And that's the type of fight here in the co-main event. So though you might not have heard of Gene Patrick, this fight is as real as it gets. And it's a banger for the co-main event.
Yeah.
And finally, we've already watched it once. Let's go to the back.
Let's hear it for Kenny, Young OG champion.
He don't see it going past the second round, and that's good because I don't see it going past the second round either.
He's powerful. He's much faster.
My hand will be raised at the end. Again, I'm the one true champion.
Oh, nice right.
Big right hand from Kenny Champion. Drops Aaron Hughes right in front of us.
Kenny's a tough guy. He's going to sit there and not back away or run away from me or shoot. He's going to try and fucking stand in the pocket and knock me out. And great. I love that because that is going to force me to use my hands more and show you guys that I am a complete threat.
Nice hands from Perrin.
He's not tough. Not a fucking... You need more than tough.
Yeah.
That's it. You need more than tough at this point to fight me. If you're fucking tough, great, dude. I'm okay with beating you up for 15 minutes. I'm straight with that. But I'm still beating you up. You know what I mean? You're going to need more than tough.
Big right hand
Hit
from
him with
Perrin.
the right hand and dropped him.
Boom, and there you have it. Our main event of the evening, 17 fights, 16 down, up to our main event. Kenny, the OG champion, taking on Jay the Joker Perrin.
The young OG, Kenny Champion, the OG champion. That's just a ton of accolades and just the name and title alone, let alone what his performances bring. Lightning fast speed, the fountain of youth, and Jay Perrin, the world-class experience that he's had, the world stage experience that he's had, championship medal at Memorial Hall, looking to make a splash in this new weight class and hungry as ever to maintain that top spot and send Kenny Champion packing. So Kenny Champion looking to shock the world and truly just cement himself at the top of the division after winning the OG championship. Keep riding that momentum. It's a sleeper of a main event. It was kind of a great story of how it came together, and both of them are accepting the respective challenge that they pose to each other. And it's just, don't blink. Don't think that the age discrepancy has anything. Kenny Champion is as legit as they make them. And he's still got the power, still got the athleticism. Jay Perrin looking to maintain that top spot in this new division. Both guys are bringing a certain level of hunger, both at the top of their game. One hell of a main event to capsize this Carnival of Carnage.
Carnival of Carnage, man. What I loved about Kenny is, I don't want to say we insulted him with the OG title, and he's taking great pride. He's got his city's doing
There's no such.
his city's doing a tomorrow night. They're doing a send-off, kind of rally for Kenny. He's brought the belt around. He's so proud of it. His community's so proud of it. I love what he's really done with the title, because he's also held our amateur title and done the same thing. I don't want to say insulting because it's a lack of a better word, but he specifically said to me right afterwards, yo, I am not an OG competitor. I don't want to be in an OG division. I have sights and aspirations to fight the top at featherweight division, regardless of age, and put my stamp on this division and make my way towards the featherweight title, not an OG title, the featherweight title.
Well, a win over Perrin gets him that much closer.
Yeah. So yeah, man, I'm excited for this. And Jay knows. I've spoken to Jay, and Jay said this. Listen, man, I'm not taking Kenny lightly. I've watched him. Jay's been in the commentary booth for his fights. He's seen him up close, and he knows the type of dangers that Kenny brings. Both guys have a ton of respect for each other. This is such a banger of a fight that I'm pumped for, because we're going to find out a lot about these guys.
So many intangible dynamic elements going into this one. The fight IQ that Jay Perrin brings, the sleeper power that Kenny Champion brings, the speed that both of them present. They're both just so fast with their hands, and I can't wait to see how it goes when they clash.
Yeah. So there you go. We just gave you all 17 fights, and man, it's going to be crazy. I want to give you an update because I thought it was funny. I just got this email, and for everybody who watches, sometimes I like to give insight on what we do, and sometimes I like to just give insight on just general topics. One thing that I've always been taught in life: you teach, you don't tell. And Andy can express this. Anybody who works at Cage Titans, sometimes I'm long-winded, but I'm trying to teach where my mindset is, so that you understand why I might say to do things. I'll never say do it this way because I said and walk away. But I thought this is funny, because this is somebody who works for us for Cage Titans, and it's Joe Leonard, and he was CC'd on those videos. And I haven't talked to him. You guys have seen me here live, and there's been no conversation. I've not been texting or anything like that. I didn't even have to send an email. He said this: just my 2 cents on the main card video with the circus music and confetti. It's almost insulting. I'll run by whatever Michael tells me. But if it were my decision, that would never made it past the idea phase. Don't feel like it's our brand of marketing, Joe Leonard. So it's just a guy who's worked with us for many years, and I just thought it was funny because beautifully put, and I didn't even have to email him, and because he knows what we're about, he knows who we are at our core, and he saw that video and he knew, and but it's also a deeper life lesson. Like, teach people, don't tell people. Like,
Teach a man to
don't
fish.
do this. Just always. My wife always says that to me though, and we don't see eye to eye, which many husbands and wives probably don't. She's like, just say it. And I'm just like, no, I want you to understand. She's like, I don't care why you want it to be this way. And I'm just like, honey, there's a purpose. There's a purpose in life to help educate. You know, we were even setting up the locker room as something simple as that. How many times they're like, all right, I want you to know why I want it this way.
Oh, yo, it's
It seems
now
so
you don't
simple.
even got to look up there. It's just like people come up and they try to help, and it's like, stop. Like,
There's a certain way.
if it doesn't get done, I know it's anal. I know it's silly. I know it's very
There's
tiny.
reasons.
But if you don't do it, that means Michael's going to come up, and then I'm going to catch shit for it. So just don't. It's
not
got
like
to.
that shit. It's
It's not no, but
the
but
biggest
it's
thing is
but
teach,
it's
not
all
tell.
of the details matter to a point. It's, again, not catch shit, but it's just like there is a reason for it. I can't explain to you the reason for it, but if you don't do it the way I tell you, then he's going to come up and explain the reason to you. I don't know what else right now, so just do it. That's what it is. It's not catching shit. It's like,
But it's-
just trust me. I've been taught this lesson before. You don't have the air capacity for it. Not today.
Let's go back to anything you do in life, but even like
Yeah,
whether
no,
it's your job
but
and
it's
you're telling somebody that's a coworker, teach them why you do it because it might resonate with them.
Yeah.
If you're a coach and you're teaching somebody how to throw a punch, you got to do it like this. Well, hey, listen, you might generate your power from your hips, so you got to think that your feet have to twist, your hips,
and if
it's
you lean, you'll
sometimes-
be susceptible to counters, and then
There's just
it's
like-
all of the.
and then you never know what that little teaching moment could click for that person. But anyways, I just thought that was cool because I was immediately thinking to myself, I'm like, shit, before they do anything else with this video, I need to get off there so I can text them and be like, kibosh it right now. But Joe Leonard, so all those years of busting him and just kind of
Oh, we've all been busted, rightfully
know,
so. It's here's what it
lengthy
is.
conversations, you're like, Mike, can you get to the point? Sometimes it pays off.
We'll get to the point. Right now, you need to deal with the shaft first
So
before the
anyways,
point happens.
Man, I honestly enjoy doing this every week. I hope you guys enjoy hearing us talk. Sometimes I feel like we ramble, or I ramble, or he rambles. But
You were definitely on the rabbit hole rambling tonight. Normally that's
definitely,
my
you know, we
case. I
talked a
usually
lot.
go down, but it is what it is. It's fight week. It's that fight week energy. It's a fight week vibe. We got the Carnival of Carnage afoot. We just broke down all the action, bottom to top. We're getting a lot of amateur debuts, a lot of professional seasonings, and we're just going to keep doing what we do at Cage Titans. Memorial Hall is a building that is built for this, and we're going to bring it like we always do. And that's really it. It's a well-oiled machine. It's something I always personally look forward to, and I know that resonates with everybody else that looks forward to Fight Week every 8 weeks over the course of the year, and especially that we are Cage Titans. This is it. This is the community we've built, and this is the cadence we're on, and it's time to bump another heartbeat full of violent fights into Plymouth Memorial Hall for everybody to be satisfied till May. So
let's go, guys. This upcoming Saturday night. First things first, Friday night, ceremonial weigh-ins, Friday day, 1 o'clock at Plymouth Memorial Hall. We welcome you down. We're going to be doing a ticket giveaway. So come on down to weigh-ins, ticket giveaway, ceremonial weigh-ins, Friday at 1 o'clock at Plymouth Memorial Hall. Then on fight day, Saturday, as always, pregame bash at Second Wind Brewing, hosted by Rob Pico. We're doing a ticket giveaway there as well. So come down to Second Wind Brewing for the pregame bash. Follow it up with 4 o'clock hall pass, doors open. First 100 people to buy a hall pass, you get in before everybody else, and you get the pick of the house for your favorite seats. So hall pass, I think there's only like 40 left, so get online and buy them right away. 5 o'clock regular doors open. First fight of the night is our Muay Thai bout, 6 o'clock sharp. And as always, at the conclusion of the event, we have the after party at Tavern on the Wharf, which is always a good time.
and they're going to be showing the fights there beforehand too. If you go to the
Oh, yeah, so
pregame,
there'll
and
be some.
also at Main Street as well, because
Yeah. There you go.
they show the fights beforehand.
Yeah.
So if you're in Plymouth and you don't feel like waiting in line, or your fighter's not there later, make sure you check out all the local establishments that are hosting the Fights on Spectation Sports.
I will also say to you, this card is worth the price of admission as it is. But what leapfrogs off of this card in going into May and July, I think you will want to be in the building this Saturday night.
Just to see the announcements?
To see the announcements. There's some fights that are on this card that, depending on the way it goes, certain people have told me some lofty call-outs if they get the mic and they win.
All right.
Which could play into an interesting night. So yeah, man. I mean, if the fight's excited me enough, but I'm telling you now, there could be some interesting segues coming out of this with announcements as well as some call-outs. So there you have it, guys. Look at all our social media, Cage Titans across the board. If you can't meet up with your favorite fighter, you can always go to cagetitans.com for your tickets. Click upcoming event. Scroll to the bottom. Ticket Tree is our ticket company. They do all the ticketing. And if you can't make it in person, Spectation Sports got you covered. They will be live streaming the entire event, start to finish. There you have it, Andy.
Very excited.
Very excited. Have a good night.
All right.
These
Cheers.
fighters are waiting for you, though. If you want them truly ready for this main event, then Plymouth, Massachusetts! Let them hear you! Let's